Hi, I'm Dave Epstein. Welcome to Growing Wisdom. I'm here with my good friend Scott LeFleur, and we're talking outside the pot today, right? So we're talking about, yeah, sure, you can plant in a container, but there's these natural containers that nature's provided for us, and we're going to talk about how to plant in those.
Oh yeah, that's the fun thing about containers. There really are no rules. So if you want to take and put a pitcher plant in a stump, why not? It's only there for a season and you can kind of change it out later on. Just really try things in containers. Take some chances because it's not going to be a forever sort of thing. It's temporary. It can be changed out as quickly as you want it to be.
All right, Scott, so my first question is, why? Like, what's the difference between this great pot and, say, planting in a log?
Well, I think it's a little bit could be ecological. The log is just going to break down and go back into the soil as after time after you use it. The other thing would be a design or aesthetic choice. The log is very naturalistic. It really fits into a naturalistic garden setting really well. This is actually a log that can be moved. This is not actually a tree stump. We also have a tree stump that can't be moved as well, so it's a great use of old tree stumps you have there as well.
So Scott, you know, I think when folks are going outside the pot or outside the box, as the saying goes, that they may get a little bit nervous. You know, I'm going to do this wrong. How easy is this?
This is so easy, Dave, that nature will actually do it on its own. I've found trees where blueberries have started growing in them, stumps where ferns are growing, and people had nothing to do with it. So take a cue from nature, simple as can be.
So Scott, I've got to ask you, what bit of wisdom would you give to folks to help them grow in one of these very unique containers?
I would tell folks at home to just have fun with it, to really just go ahead and think and dream about a look that you want to have and just work with it and make it work for you. And sort of my little tip with containers all the time, if you're trying to get that balanced look, is the old thriller, filler, and spiller. 3 simple steps. You got something really big and taking up a lot of space that looks great, sort of the filler, and then something that kind of spills over the side of the pot. You can do that in one container, you can do that with multiple containers as well.
So you've provided this obviously hollowed out log.
Correct.
And probably from an old tree that you cut down at some point. All right, so what do we do?
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing. This looks like it was a tree that was standing here, and it's not. This is actually something you can move.
Yep.
So it's movable around the garden. The first thing you want to do is find a hollowed out log, which you can try to do by chiseling or something or helping it along through other things that will decompose it, or you just find the right one like we have here. And you just, like any other container, you've got to put soil in there, get things going. So what we're going to use first here is going to use Scutellaria incana, which is a downy skull cap.
And I noticed tubular flowers, which means it's good for butterflies.
Absolutely.
What about hummingbirds?
Hummingbirds, it's not quite a bright enough color for the hummingbirds. They tend to go to the oranges and the reds a little bit. Hummingbird moths I've definitely seen using blue flowers as well, so there are a variety of things that can use this. So this is what I sort of, call the thriller one. This is going to get a little bit bigger. It's got the really beautiful blue flowers on it now. Also these seed pods that are here are going to turn a burgundy sort of maroon color as they age in through the fall, so it almost looks like this plant has a second bloom. Then the next thing we're going to use here is this really cool Carex platyphylla, which has a really nice bluish sort of tinge to it. And we're going to get this run right in here to kind of play off the blue color of the Scutellaria. And then, as a nice sort of running plant that will kind of go out there and fill and spill over the side of the container, really nice ground phlox, Phlox divaricata.
And that's going to bloom earlier in the spring.
That's going to bloom in the springtime. And so you get this one, and it's going to start to grow and make its way over the edge of the log. Just fill it back in with soil like you would with any container. So you could use a slow release organic fertilizer, but here at Garden in the Woods, we like to do our containers and our plants with compost tea. So we're going to water it in really well.
Great. Scott, that's beautiful, and it actually feels more restful than some of the other containers as well. It's just so natural looking. Great advice. Come back every week for all of our videos here at Growing Wisdom.